What's going on, YouTube? Mr. Wheels here once again, bringing you another episode of Sports Talk. I've already done a preview video for the second round of the NHL playoffs for the Eastern Conference. This video is for the Western Conference second round 2014 playoffs. So I'd ask you to please like up and subscribe to this video. I could really use the support and I'd really appreciate it. So let's get down to business. I don't know how many of you watched Game 7 of the Sharks and LA Kings, but LA completed a miraculous comeback, and they're off to the second round versus the Anaheim Ducks. I want to talk about that series first, and then I'll get on to Chicago and, surprisingly, Minnesota. Minnesota pulled off a huge overtime upset over Colorado. So there's lots to talk about in this video. Let's get started. Anaheim, LA. I think LA's really shown their resolve, considering what they did in their first round series. They cannot take the Anaheim Ducks lightly. Justin Williams said that they were not prepared to play the Sharks, and they gave up giving up 13 goals in the first two games to the Sharks is about what they gave up on a month basis during the regular season. So Anaheim is a very good team, just like the Sharks were, and LA cannot take Anaheim lightly. I think LA has a slight advantage, considering that they'll be playing on Friday, Friday or Saturday. Their first game will open. Anaheim has been sitting for a while, so they beat Dallas earlier this week. But I want to talk a little bit about the goaltending these two teams. To me, Jonathan Quick, whether you like him or hate him, he's one of the best goalies in the league. Even though he does have a tendency to be a little bit too aggressive, as we saw in the series versus the Sharks, when he's on his game, when he's playing composed, he's pretty much unbeatable, and he may have a little bit of lady luck on his side, but luck is for people who are unprepared. So Quick, obviously, is a great goalie. I think with Anaheim, they've got some very capable goaltenders, but they've got like three of them, and I don't think in these playoffs there's been a clear-cut number one, because Frederik Andersen started the series versus Minnesota. He was chased from the net in one of the earlier games, and Jonas Hiller, who in my opinion probably should have played the whole series versus Dallas, ended up finishing that series when they beat Dallas in 6 games. So my point is if Dallas is going to have a chance to beat LA, Jonas Hiller is going to have to be the Jonas Hiller from a few years ago when he first came into the league. I said that in the first round playoff preview that I did. He's a very capable goaltender. Anaheim, compared to LA's defense, I don't think they're as good. So Jonas Hiller is going to really have to be on his game and really prove that he's a capable playoff goaltender. And Frederik Andersen, I mean, if they need him, they could use him. But I mean, look what happened with San Jose. They pulled Niemi a couple times, and they put Stalock in, who was harder than a firecracker in relief, and then let in 4 goals when he started a game. So I would say for Anaheim, stick with Hiller. The other key for Anaheim to have a chance in this series, in my opinion, is Getzlaf and Perry have to be the leaders of that team and step up and try to carry the load against a team like LA. Anaheim got by on the good play of their bottom 6 forwards, in my opinion, guys like Nick Bonino and Dante Smith-Pelly and Team Mussolini. Even he didn't even play in some of the games, but guys like that. I think Anaheim needs a little bit more out of their top guys. And as for LA, they just got to keep the ball rolling. They can't get behind again, down 3-0. And I wouldn't want them to get too far ahead in this series either, because they might have something happen to them like San Jose did. I would like to see, I think a key for LA is they're going to have to, Justin Williams and Anze Kopitar and Dustin Brown and Marian Gaborik, all those guys are going to have to continue to play well, and I think they need even a little bit more production than they've already got. But Mike Richards and Jeff Carter also need to find the score sheet a little more, and LA needs another great series out of Jared Stahl and Trevor Lewis just being grinders and getting in people's faces and doing all those little things. Their defense is playing well. They've had some injuries. Willie Mitchell didn't play in Game 7 versus the Sharks. Matt Green stepped in and filled the void there. So, I mean, they just got to keep rolling. The young guys got to keep stepping up and contributing. And my prediction is LA. I think LA could finish off Anaheim in as little as 6. If Anaheim's going to win, I say the series goes no less than 7 games. But it could very well be another 7-game series because both teams are really well, or play really well, and they're really good. So if Anaheim wins, I believe it'll be in 7, but I could see it being easily LA in 6. Let's move on to Minnesota and Chicago. I'm surprised that Minnesota's even in the playoffs at this point. They were another team that swapped around their goaltending. Darcy Kemper, I believe that's how you say his name, came in relief of Ilya Bryzgalov, who didn't play horribly but didn't really give his chance a team to win either early on against Colorado. They pulled off a stunning upset against Colorado, and I really think that they do have a chance against Chicago. Chicago went 6 games with St. Louis, and that wasn't surprising to me, but just the way Chicago started their series against St. Louis being down early, that's what surprised me, and that's what Minnesota's going to want to do. They're going to want to get an early lead in this series and then pound the crap out of Chicago's good players like Hossa and Kane and Taves, all the guys that I can't stand. Sharp too. I fucking hate Chicago. Sorry, Chicago Blackhawks fans, but I think of you guys like I think of the Sharks. You're crap. I don't care if you're the Stanley Cup champions. I want Minnesota to win this series because they've already knocked off Colorado, and I was expecting Colorado to win that series because I thought they would have a better chance of beating Chicago. Now, if Chicago's going to win the series against Minnesota, I think they have a bit of an easier time because on paper they're the better team. But whether they're going to need a continued effort from Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook, and I think Marian Hossa and Patrick Sharp need to contribute a little bit more offensively, but they've got their bottom 6 guys like Andrew Shaw and who's the other big dummy on their team? Bickle. Brian Bickle. They've been contributing, so Chicago won't really have much trouble. But I really want Minnesota to win this, and I think that Zach Parise is really going to have the series of his life because I think even though I can't stand Corey Crawford, I think Chicago has the edge in goaltending, defense, and offense in this series. If Chicago wins, I could see it being over in as little as 5 games. Not to take anything away from Minnesota, but if they're going to have a chance to win, it's probably going to go 6 or 7. I would love to see Minnesota take Chicago in 7 games. I'm not going to give... I hope guys like Brodziak and Cal Clutterbuck and all the rest of the grinders on Minnesota really pound the crap out of Chicago. I can't stand Chicago. I'm sorry, but I'm really not sorry for anyone who disagrees with that. Leave me a comment below if you disagree. Tell me what you think, especially if you're a Chicago fan. Like up this video. Please subscribe. I could really use the support. I'd really appreciate it. And that's all for now. I'll see you next time.